So that's where that's what we're going to be taking a look at as part of our news cycle. I know the weather in Mombasa just turned a little bit chilly, so Anne Mboro will be taking us through the Mombasa story and Dondi Mashinani and the kind of support that they're going, plus the coaching courses. Also in our news cycle, we have got an update that's going to be coming in from the government spokesperson, Dr. Isaac Mwaura. We expect that to be coming through to us. And also happening today, the Interior National Administration, CS, the Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, will officially open the Eastern and Southern African Commission on Drugs' fourth high-level consultative meeting and flagship report launch. And also, we are going to be having an update on the Taifa Care rollout. This is universal health coverage. That's the conversation that everyone's going to be having. And this is going to be happening at the Afya House boardroom this morning. And it's going to be overseen by the Cabinet Secretary for Health, the Honorable Aden Duale. So moving on from to the rest of news stories, because we've got is that Central Police Station OCS, who has been interdicted, is Chief Inspector Samson Talam. He's to be arraigned in court at Milimani at 11 a.m. And this is following the death of Albert Ojwang in custody. This is something that the Independent Policing Oversight Authority is investigating, and there are updates around that are also expected. That is part of one news cycle. And before Mburu and her team, just get a quick place, because when the weather changes, things do change even for us. Let's get the story of a prodigy para badminton player, Mary Nduku, that's playing, and after that we can join Mburu with the team in Mombasa from Alliance Francaise and the Boxing Federation of Kenya.
She has gone through it all, having had to get her leg amputated at a tender age to ward away a cancerous tumor that was threatening her life.
Yeah, born with a condition called congenital mutation, whereby after 3 months they discovered I had a cancer. So they had to amputate my leg, and that's how I survived. And then I started using, from young age, is when I started using prosthetic. And that's how we cope up with the life.
And Nduku's family were then forced to sacrifice their needs and wants in order to help her survive.
Growing up in the village and being raised by a single mother was a bit challenging. Juu saa zingine unapata si mimi peke yangu. I have 2 older brothers ambao at that time walikuwa wanasoma, pia mimi nasoma, and the medication na prosthetic so was a bit challenging. Sometimes we had to do harambee, ikafika tu mahali like watu wanachoka kila wakati, and at least that time nilikuwa na change mguu after 3 months 2 months na change. The more I grow, hata kama na grow na 1 inch lazima ni change hiyo mguu, juu usipo change una lean na ina affect kidney zako, so you may turn up with kidney failure. So that is what we were preventing, na kila wakati ni kubadilisha mguu, kubadilisha. So hiyo kucope up na hiyo situation was a bit challenging.
And survive she did after getting the help she needed to even get an opportunity to go to school.
I studied in the special school in Joytown Secondary School. Hapo ndio nilijua sport. In primary nilikuwa kwa special unit wenye ilikuwa tuna walemavu, na hapo tulikuwa tunafanya sport but si mingi kama Joytown. Then pale primary school nilikuwa tunafanya chess na scrabble. Hiyo wakati nilikuja Joytown ndio nikaingia kwa hizi multiple sports, na after kutoka huku nje nika specialize na sport.
That's where she found her bearing in sports to participate in as many disciplines as she could manage.
I normally do chess, I do badminton, I do wheelchair basketball, I do table tennis, and I do Scrabble. Yes, and above all, chess and badminton are the best for me.
At least for para chess, she's able to sit down and play, unlike in para badminton, where there is a lot of movement, and that is where the right prosthetic leg comes in handy.
This leg, I got it last year in the auto box, in a lock, as you can see, in the lock. Whereby unapata ukivaa ina lock, uwezi anguka, ukianguka utaumia, hiyo mguu itatoka, hii stamp yako itoke venye unaweza umia. So what I normally do, una press your button, ina unlock, then unatoa hivi, then wakati wa kuvaa you just pull hiyo silicone liner, unaifold, unaeka tena, unaiweka. Then hii ndio lock yenye inaenda pale. As you can see hapa ndani kuna shimo. As you can see hapa ndani kuna shimo. Hiyo shimo ndio inakuja kupatana na hii ndio lock. Ukiweka hii mguu hivi, si unaona, ukiweka unaona hii inazunguka, ndio ina lock.
But that does not deter her from pursuing her dream for play. She does, hoping for the best. And the best did come when she got an opportunity to represent the country outside the region and come back with a bronze in the SL4, which is the classification for those who are able to stand.
Badminton nimekuwa Uganda, nimesafiri Uganda, nimesafiri Egypt, na natarajia kwenda Dubai. Uganda I didn't win, but my ranking was in Uganda ranking. Niliweza kupata ranking na classification, whereby in Uganda I was ranked world 45, na nikaenda Egypt nikakuwa ranked 31, world 31, and in chess mimi ni Kenya 1, na bado tunangangana juu ratings lazima zipande, lazima upate ungangane.
Mary Nduko is more determined than ever to improve on that performance, hoping to make her way to the Paralympics in the near future or the Chess Olympiad.
For the chess, I've been Belgrade. I was supposed to go in Malawi. That was my first tournament. Na juu I had issues with passport nini, unajua ukiwa ushago pia uko na ule mzazi nini. So hiyo trip ilinipita, nikapitwa pia na trip ingine ya Greece. Nilikuwa niende compete Greece, nikapitwa, but when the good time ilifika nikapata passport, nimekuwa Belgrade. Tulikuwa supposed tuende nini Dubai, lakini kwa kuwa na changamoto tukakuwa tunaenda Chennai in India, wakasema they can't host us PWD, so we are waiting for the next year. Kwa chess kuna hiyo FIDE championship, world championship ya PWD yenye itakuwa Dubai pia.
She, however, needs help to get the right prosthetic so that it does not impact on her kidneys to add more salt to her wounds.
This I got it at 750,000, of which somebody, I will wish Ali just drop the money from me, akasema acha nikusaidia Nduko, of which for now imeharibika. Unaona hii silicone line ishaanza kukatika juu I'm using it for the wrong purpose. Hii mguu ni ya kutembea, si ya kucheza hapa, kutembea pekee. So hiyo friction yenye inacheza hapa, na saa zingine unaweza slide ikigwara. This thing, hii silicone ni soft sana, ukiweza gwara na kakitu ama kamawe tu hivi ishakatika. Already imekatika, I need to change it, the silicone.
And that's not the only challenge she's facing, as they are forced to foot most of their bills to get by as persons living with various disabilities.
Kama msichana mdogo, challenge zenye unapata ni kukopa hapo na hizo vitu juu. For the chess you must look for your coach na umlipe. We pay our coaches according to the section na level yako kwenye chess imefika. That is individual game. Lazima ujitume, you have a lot to do. Lazima kama ni vitabu usome, ufanye a lot of research work, inataka ujitume. So sometimes unapata the resources ni challenging juu kama una pesa ya kulipa coach hautaweza kumove on. Yes. And pia kwa badminton kama saizi I feel like I'm struggling juu I'm using the wrong prosthetic on the wrong purpose. So unapata kama saa zingine unaona kama I wish umeona saa zingine nashindwa na kusplit juu unaogopa hii lock ikikugonga itakuumiza hii mguu ingine, na ukisplit vibaya kuna possibility ya kuanguka.
She, however, is not resting on her laurels even as she awaits any assistance to aid her mobility. She has studied cosmetology and hopes to open a business in future to support her endeavors.
Lazima niendeleze zote juu sports utafika tu mahali uzee itaingia, na kama una kitu ingine ya kufanya unaona utakuwa unateseka hapo mbele. So that why I decided nisome, ndio at least hata kama nitakuja kudrop esports nitakuwa na kitu ya kufanya. Naweza enda tu nifungue beauty salon yangu, naweza enda andiko na serikali nifunze, naweza enda tu niandikwe tu na private schools, na hivyo ndivyo maisha itasonga.
Persons with disabilities have proved time and again their capability if given the opportunity to realize their potential, and the world of sports continues to provide those platforms. Let other sectors follow suit too.
Expectation this year we are expecting like hiyo kwenda Dubai na the others tuweze kupata hizo points za kuqualify Olympics, World Cup na Commonwealth. So unaweza pata kuna mtu pale ameona tu video yangu, anaweza sema okay, sitakusupport na mguu lakini naweza kupea foot, naweza kupea silicone liner, naweza kupea hiyo anything the little you support I will just appreciate. Ama mtu aseme just come to my hospital, just bring, if we share the cost, ama just do this, upime tu mguu yetu, then you advertise for it, utuambie vile iko, we will appreciate. I myself I will appreciate and I will be so happy.
Of Masinduku, who is a para-badminton prodigy. Well, time to introduce our sign language interpreter. Her name is Anne Wangeshi. Now, let's move over to Mombasa, and we're at the Alliance, and it's at the Alliance Française, where Anne Mburu is speaking with members of the Boxing Kenya Federation. And this is where the Mombasa County Boxing Association has partnered with Alliance Française, which is the French, cultural center in Kenya. And this is to support grassroots boxing. And so Anne's going to be speaking with, Lucas Malco, who's the director, Alliance Française, and Mombasa County Boxing Association, and BFK officials who are there. Over to you, Anne. Give us an update, and let's get the real feel of Dondi Mashinani.
Good morning to you, to Daniel Wahome back at Broadcasting House, and I'm coming live to you from Alliance Française in Nyali sub-county in Mombasa County. And today we're privileged to be here when they will be launching the beginning of the training of the referees, the coaches and judges in the boxing sport. And I'm here with the stakeholders who are going to tell us about the training and what they've been doing in the boxing arena, especially now that there's going to be a launch, there's going to be a league next month. So this session of the training begins today and ends on the 22nd of this month. So right now I'll be joined by the French representative, because this is a collaboration between the French Embassy and Mombasa County Boxing Association, that they have organized this training today. So welcome on set, Bwana Lucas, so that you can tell us exactly what is happening here today and tell us about the collaboration that you're having with the sports arena in Mombasa.
Okay, so today the training is part of Dondi Mashinani. Dondi Mashinani is a sports cooperation program between France and Kenya that the Alliance Française has launched with the support of the French Embassy and Mombasa County Boxing Association. Kenya and France, two big sporting nations. We wanted, France was hosting the Olympic Games in Paris in July last year. So we wanted to continue the legacy and find a way to work together, bring sportsmen from France, from Kenya, and trying to boost boxing in Mombasa, because we are sure that supporting sport will bring a lot to the community, and that's why we have this training competition. We also have boxers from France, physical trainer will come and train the elite boxers in Mombasa, and many activities also in school to develop also boxing in schools.
So how has this collaboration improved the cultural ties between Kenya and French?
We've been working, the Alliance, we've been working in Mombasa for 50 years. Actually, on Saturday, we are celebrating our Golden Jubilee, like 50 years of presence in Mombasa. So we are mainly a language school, cultural center, but the embassy has a long history of collaboration with the coastal counties. When it comes to sport, also, the French embassy has worked a lot in terms of athletics. They have opened a center like for training in Iten. So it's another project. So we are starting now, and then we are aiming at a 6-month program, donation of equipment also to equip the different clubs in Mombasa. So I'm sure the impact will be huge to support boxing in Mombasa, sorry.
Maybe you could tell us more about the Ndondi Mashinani, your collaboration with the Mombasa County Boxing Association.
I think Coach Chris will tell more about the program, but then there are different components. Training for coaches and referee, because at the end, the coach are the one who go in the community, so they need to be trained. So training for coaches and referees starting today. We have, as I said, like a camp with professional boxers from France, physical trainers early July. We have the National League. Also, Alliance Française will be hosting the National League from the 17th to 19th of July. That's the main event. But we also have throughout the year until November, we also have like coaches going to school, going to jail also to promote boxing, especially for kids, women also, because boxing is not only for men, it's also for women, to increase the number of participants and the number of boxers. And also, one of the targets also is to have boxers from Mombasa at the next Olympic Games or the Olympic Games in 6 years' time in Australia, in Brisbane.
So how many months is this program running?
The program is starting now and will last in November 2025. So it's a 6-month program, but after that we are considering other options and to bring also other stakeholders on board, the private sector, to continue what we are implementing now with the French Embassy and Mombasa County Boxing Association.
So what future plans do you have for the Boxing Association in Mombasa?
At the end, they are the specialists. We are specialists of language and culture. They are the specialists. So the idea is to bring at a modest scale, like a bit of input, a bit of expertise, because France has a long expertise when it comes to promoting sports. And then after, they will, I'm sure they will take it forward and it will be a success.
Thank you very much. Maybe we could have Crispin on set. You could tell us, you can start with both your names and your position, and then tell us about the collaboration that you're having with Alliance about the boxing.
Yeah, my name is Crispin Peter Onyango. I am the Secretary General of Mombasa County Boxing Association. I'm also the Federation of Kenya. Ndondi Mashinani. Based on nurturing talents from the grassroots, we have identified, because Mombasa County has a long history of producing champions, but of late the boxing has declined because of some small issues with lack of equipment and so on. So I talked to Mr. Lucas here, and we tried to figure out what can be done so that boxing can back come to the normal level. Then we identify that our clubs don't have equipment. So the French embassy has assisted Mombasa County Boxing Club with equipment. We bought equipment, and then we are having the school outreach program, which will start immediately after the training. And what we are trying to do is to take boxing. We are trying to take boxing to the doorsteps of each individual. So we are trying to talk to the guys about boxing. People have linked boxing with all the negatives. People do believe that boxing is a thug sport. So we are trying to talk to them. It's a sport that it's just a sport like any other sports. It's a good sport. So our main aim is to nurture these talents and at least have a representation in future Olympics. Yes.
There's a boxing for women, the women boxing. So what are you running in the program for women to be able to be in the boxing?
Yeah, we have, in fact, in our program, in the Ndondi Mashinani program, we have, it's an inclusive program. we really insisted on inclusivity. We have women. In fact, even the equipment, we have identified 12 ladies in Mombasa who at least are performing right now. We have brought equipment that will distribute to the 12 ladies. And then in our camp, in our next month camp, we will have the ladies. We will try to talk to them so that they can go and spread the gospel about boxing to other ladies, because in Mombasa many ladies don't like boxing. They think maybe it's men's sports. So we'll talk to them so that at least they spread that gospel.
You're having the league next month. Tell us about the league and the prize money that you'll be giving to the winners.
Yeah, we're having the league. We're having the league which will be hosted right here at the Alliance Francaise, and we are still talking about the prize money, but I think it will just be a small token. We cannot give it a big name like prize money, because it will just be a small token like 3,000 or 4,000 or something, depending on how we'll agree. But the league will be here, yes.
You've talked about the challenges that you continue to face. Maybe despite the challenges that you're facing, maybe you could tell us the programs that you have for the boxers in Mombasa so that they can be at the top league up there. They can represent Mombasa and the region at large. Yeah,
okay. First and foremost, I think we have a selection. Our selection will be on 4th of next month, whereas we'll select the best boxer that will represent us in the national league. Those best boxers, we'll try to put them together. We'll try to nurture them. That's why we brought other trainers from France. It's at least it's good to get knowledge from different coaches. At least we know where we are not getting things right. So our boxers that will be in the camp, we'll try to talk to them. We'll try to keep them so that in future they'll represent our country.
What's your call to the Mombasa residents now that boxing, you're saying not many people join it, they think it is a thug sport? What is your call to them?
I think what I can tell, it's hii ni mwamko mpya. They should come join boxing. Boxing is a good sport. It's just a sport like any other sport. Let them come and we'll train together.
So when are we having the league, the dates and where?
The league will be on 17th, 18th and 19th of July 2025, yeah.
What should we expect?
Okay, because, as Mombasa County, because we'll be the host, we'll be having two teams, Team A and B. So I think we'll carry the day, yes.
Thank you very much. Maybe we can also have our representatives from the chair, referees and judges committee. You could begin with your names and then you tell us about the level of training that you've been given the match officials. You can stand here. Look at the camera.
My name is Mwangi Modoga. I'm a retired referee judge. And first of all, I would like to thank God for being here. And also thank the president of the Boxing Federation of Kenya, Mr. Anthony Otieno Jamal, who started this issue of Dondi Mashinani. We are here to train referee and judges so that the Dondi Mashinani can be able to move on, whereby if we need to host a tournament, maybe in Mombasa, any place or any other place in this country, we can have referees and judges at Mashinani. So there's no way that boxing will fail in a certain place because there are no officials. And first of all, we want also to train these young people, because most of us are retiring or retired, so that boxing can continue, so that we can be able to uplift the standards of our referee judges to the international level. So for now, we are training them locally at the national level, so that they can go on racing to the international level, so that we can be able to have representation at the international level, where we can have our officials officiating in the Olympics, Commonwealth Games, and all Africa Games. So the main issue here is to make sure that we train enough officials, young, energetic officials, who can be able to take over from the people who have retired, and also to be able to have boxing everywhere, because you can't have Dondi Mashinani without having enough officials. So we must train also officials Mashinani. So that is our main issue today.
Boxing involves technology in training, so how well is this being adopted by officials across the country?
Through training. we are trying to train them so that even if when they move out of shape in the other countries, they have that confidence to be able to make proper judgments once they are seated in the ringside, because the work of a referee and judge is to be fair. So we train them on the way how they can be able to be fair to the boxers, because the main issue here is the boxers. So we have to have enough officials and trained officials so that they can be able to make good judgments at the lower level.
Maybe you could tell us what you look for, you could describe to us what you look for when you're officiating a match.
One thing, what we look for in officiating a match is fairness. Because, these boxers have trained so hard. So when you become unfair as a judge or a referee, you are becoming unfair to that boxer. So wherever you are making decisions, you should be very firm and you should be very fair. What I'm trying to say is that you have to be fair to that boxer and you have to be fair in your decisions, so that if you are questioned about the decision you made, you can be able to explain what decision you made and why you made that decision. Because there's a lot of decisions in boxing. So the issue here is to be fair. We train them to be fair, mostly to the boxers.
How do you ensure that the boxer inside the ring is safe?
We ensure that the boxer in the ring is safe by, one, the main concern of a referee in the ring is to protect the weaker boxer. So you should avoid whereby a boxer is being punished and you are just watching. So you must be very steady, and so that the other boxer cannot be injured. So safety is very important in boxing. And that's why we normally make they got in the ring. Goes a doctor, whatever.
Well, and that is Anne Mboro, who is our reporter in Mombasa. She's at the Alliance Francaise, and she's speaking with Mwangi Mudoga, who is a referee and judge, and is going to be offering training to boxing referee and judges as part of the Ndondi Mashinani program. Let's see if the signal has settled in, and we can get to hear also from the BFK coaches. Person who's going to be running the coaching program, Musa Benjamin. Let's just get to listen in from our team in Mombasa.
About the technology, nowadays we used to with computer scoring. So by so doing, we also teach them how to use those gadgets so that they can be able to make the right decisions.
Thank you very much. I'll now be joined by the team coach of the Boxing Federation of Kenya, Bwana Musa Benjamin. Yes. Maybe you could begin by telling us about the whole event here today.
Well, thank you very much. I think this is one of the greatest moves the Federation is making or has made in terms of building capacity, because we have this thing we call the sports triangle, where we have the technical officials and the athletes and the management. So we must build the the capacity of both the technical officials, that is the coaches, and the referee and judges, who happen to be the backbone of our sport, boxing. The coaches are actually the heart and soul of boxing. So such kind of trainings are very, very important, so that we get these coaches who will be now qualified to identify and nurture talent at that young age. The guys, through this Ndondi Mashinani call, who are able to get the boxers, and they get them very raw. We need to have them they need to have the right training so that they can bring up boxers with very good basics and foundations. Without a proper foundation, no house will stand. And that's the biggest problem that we have. We find ourselves having boxers or getting boxers at the national level who have very, very wrong basics. So it becomes very difficult for them to get to the next level with those wrong basics. So such trainings are very, they will really get us far as Ndoni Mashinani is concerned.
So what are the key things a modern coach must know today?
Well, there are two things, very important things, where most of our coaches at this level make very huge mistakes by concentrating on getting our kids, our young athletes, our young boxers. They deal so much in fitness instead of building their basic knowledge. That is getting the fundamentals of the sport of boxing right. That is the most important thing we are insisting on. We want them to learn the three most important scoring criteria. That is getting quality punches on target, techniques, getting the right techniques, getting being competitive, because those are the criteria, scoring criteria in the international events. So those are the kind of things we are insisting on, or in fact putting on a lot of emphasis on preparation, because for anybody to perform well, they must prepare well as well. So preparations, cardio conditioning, to build to strengthen their heart and lungs. Neurological conditioning, we call it the muscle memory. The more you repeat a move, it becomes kind of automatic. Muscle conditioning, preparation for the rigors in the ring. Fighting is not easy. Yes, all your muscles must be well prepared for it. So those are the grounds that we are going to lay a lot of emphasis on. Yes.
So for today's training, maybe you could give us a hint of what they're going to be taught in the training sessions today for the coaches.
Well, for the referee and judges, referees, first and foremost, have major priority is the safety of the athletes in the ring. So that's very important. For the judges, they're the ones who determine the outcomes of the bouts. So they need to know what the scoring punches are, how to score the different bouts, the different styles that boxers apply there. The referees also must be in a position to identify, so that we get, at the end of the day, the right boxers, say for the national team, who can go out there and represent us effectively. So it's very important for the referee and judges. These are kind of trainings, and this is to bring them to the level where now they can be able to take the international certification courses, star 1 to star 3. Now also enabling them to represent the country and as well officiate in those international championships like the World Championships, Continental Championships, and the Olympic Games. Yes.
Are we seeing women embracing the sport?
Oh yes, I've seen quite a big number of women, especially as referee and judges, and for coaching courses, which is very good, because we also have very many young girls now coming out to necks and stuff.
That is Musa Benjamin, who is the treasurer of Boxing Federation of Kenya and also the head coach of the national team, the hit squad, speaking with Anburu. And it is about Ndondi Mashinani, where Alliance Francaise is supporting the Mombasa boxing. And also happening right now is that the Interior National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen is officially opening the Eastern and Southern African Commission on Drugs, and this is a fourth high-level consultative meeting. So we can go over to the Radisson Blu where that event is happening.
And for the European Union and the other teams that are supporting this very important report, thank you very much. Continue partnering with the Commission, but also with us nationally to deal with these issues, including with the UN and UNODC office, whom we are working very close together.
and seeing former presidents still working very hard at their very young age. As I said earlier, I am truly inspired that there's greater life ahead, a more sober, less noisy and volatile outside politics, where your knowledge is just being evaluated not based on your political leaning. And as I say so, I also truly admire our former Chief Justice here, who is my senior and my friend. And I'm very happy for the work he's doing and the life he's leading, even after a lot of great work he did as one of the most consequential Chief Justice that we've ever had as a country. Now, this is the speech of the President. It's my honor to welcome you all to Kenya and to particularly recognize my dear brother, His Excellency Galema Motlanthe, of the Republic of South Africa, for his exemplary leadership as chair of the East and Southern Africa Commission on Drugs, and his colleagues, the former presidents. Today marks a significant milestone in our ongoing fight against the hard drugs. The newly established East and Southern Africa Commission on Drugs reflects on the regional commitment to tackling the growing threat of illicit drug trade and use through informed dialogue, public awareness, and evidence-based policy solutions. We fully recognize that the drug problem is not confined within national borders. It's a transnational challenge that demands a coordinated regional and global response. Any meaningful efforts to address it must therefore transcend individual jurisdiction and complement our national and local initiatives through collective action and shared responsibility. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the report we are launching today is the culmination of an extensive and inclusive dialogue, bringing together key agents of change, government leaders, law enforcement, public health experts, civil society, academia, and individuals with lived experience. It provides compelling evidence that the availability of drugs in our region has increased, accompanied by a concerning rise in the potency of these substances. This underscores the urgency of coordinated, multi-sectoral responses to an evolving and complex challenge. Notably, there has been a growth in online drug markets with the increased use of social media platforms as marketplaces. Drug markets have also grown and diversified in face of movement restrictions related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The region's drug markets are becoming increasingly diverse and integrated into international networks. Worryingly, substances such as heroin, cocaine, and synthetic drugs are now widely accessible across Eastern and Southern Africa, with use reported not only in major urban centers, but also in secondary towns and rural settlements. International drug supply chains are also no longer merely transiting through our region. They are now directly servicing domestic markets, which continue to witness a steady rise in the number of users. This evolving dynamic calls for urgent, coordinated, and strategic responses at both national and regional levels. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in Kenya, we recognize that the drug problem is a pressing and multifaceted challenge, one that continues to threaten the well-being of our youth, strain our public health systems, and demand extensive law enforcement resources. The rising prevalence of substances such as cannabis, heroin, cocaine, and synthetic drugs is deeply concerning, particularly as we see growing rates of use among young people across both urban and rural communities. Kenya's position as a regional economic hub with an open door policy that fosters global engagement, advanced transport and communication infrastructure, and a well-developed financial sectors has regrettably also made us vulnerable. Our country now faces dual reality of being both a destination and a transit point for illicit drug originating from other parts of the world. Despite our robust anti-drug legislation and enforcement efforts, the influx of substances such as marijuana, heroin, and cocaine continue unabated with profound impacts on our communities. Of increasing concern is the emergence of synthetic drugs, often manufactured in clandestine laboratories operating within the region. This troubling development is largely driven by illicit trade in precursor and controlled chemicals, which facilitates the production and distribution of the harmful substance. It's also important to note that while some scheduled substances have legitimate industrial and pharmaceutical applications, their diversion into illicit drug production remains a persistent and under-policed challenge. Of particular concern is the growing threat posed by methamphetamines, which have the potential to penetrate drug markets across the region. Without urgent and coordinated action, we risk a significant increase in the availability, accessibility, and use of highly addictive substances with far-reaching consequences for public health and security. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, while legislative reforms are necessary, they alone are insufficient. We must move beyond traditional approaches rooted in criminal incarceration, stigma, and exclusion. Evidence shows that prohibitionist policies have not effectively disrupted illicit markets. In fact, they often exacerbate harm by alienating those most in need of our help. Therefore, we must pursue a more balanced, health-centered, and human rights-based approach, one that addresses not just supply and enforcement, but also the underlying social and economic drivers of drug use. Sustainable solutions will require us to reframe drug policy as both a public health and a development priority. As we reflect on the insight of this report and the leadership of the Eastern and Southern African Commission on Drugs, let us rededicate ourselves to this fight. Kenya Families believes that access to evidence-based treatment for drug dependence is not a privilege, but a universal right. This principle guides our ongoing transformation of the National Health Delivery System, an ambitious reform agenda aimed at making healthcare affordable, inclusive, and accessible to all without exception. In this regard, your recommendation on the establishment of regional drug observatory mechanism under the Eastern and Southern Africa Commission on Drugs to serve as a critical platform for cross-border intelligence sharing, early warning systems, and regional coordination is worth considering. This would enable the development of data-driven, context-sensitive, and regionally harmonized policies. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I once again commend the East and Southern Africa Commission on Drugs for fostering vital regional dialogue and drug policy reform. Its unique position to engage regional leaders directly, combined with the diverse expertise of its commissioners, creates an essential platform for collaborative and solutions-driven discussions. We must collectively support the Commission's work as it advances effective and regionally tailored approaches in East and Southern Africa. Asanteni sana. I thank you very much.
And that was the Cabinet Secretary, Interior and National Administration, the Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, who is officially opening the Eastern and Southern Commission on Drugs' fourth high-level consultative meeting and flagship report launch. And this event is being covered for us by Adan, and so he's going to be giving us that story in our subsequent bulletins. and including all those who have spoken. Well, still more conversations to come on Sports Check. Let's connect to one, cricket. And before that, let's get the ace, Joseph Angara.
Good catch. Good catch.
Well done.
Thank you. I'm competing against one of the best bowlers in the world, that is Joseph Angara. He has been away for a long time, 8 years.
Yep.
Yes, in Botswana. And I decided to wait for him for all those years until he came back to the country so that he can tell us what he has been up to and what he was up to back then.
You know, every time you wake up in the morning and you start visualizing on what you're going to do, you're looking at that Sachin on your face, you're running in, you're bowling to Sachin.
The cool, calm and collected Joseph Angara came into prominence back in 2001 when Kenya was taking part in the Standard Bank triangular tournament between South Africa, who are the hosts, Kenya and India, where he played his heart out to humble the legendary Sachin Tendulkar as Kenya beat India by 70 runs.
Well, that was a 3 series in India, in South Africa, that with South Africa, India and Kenya. So it was in Port Elizabeth that I was man of the match. I got 3 wickets for 30 runs, and my main wicket was Sachin Tendulkar. So we beat India in 2001 in South Africa. I'm still digesting the...
The man of the match, however, had no time to celebrate his greatest achievement as he was bereaved thereafter.
In that tournament, after being man of the match, unfortunately, my mom passed away and had to leave the camp and come back home.
He gathered his courage to feature for Kenya in other series, notably the Sharjah Cup and most memorable the 2003 ICC Cricket World Cup, where Kenya reached a historic semi-final.
It was a long journey, and that journey, as I said again, it started in 2003, that when you find from 18 players, 10 coming to play in that World Cup, that was hard work. We knew each other. We knew our positives and negatives. We cared for each other, and we were playing hard cricket, and cricket was competitive. And also professional cricketers from India used to visit Kenya most of the time. All Ranji Trophy players, national team players. Sandeep Patil came and played there. Chandrakant Pandit came and played there. So we were actually brushing our shoulders with top class cricketers every single season. And also our travels to India and to other countries coming in here really made us to be hard cricketers.
This was Angara's third World Cup, having been a reserve in 1996 when Kenya beat the fancied West Indies by 73 runs in the group stage where they left, same as 1999 in England.
Kenya went to the first World Cup in 96, which I was a reserve. 99, we saw that that experience, you come back and you say, guys, you know what, there's nothing difficult. Let's carry on working hard. We backed each other up. And when we came back, the confidence was high. The confidence, the motivation from cricket, Kenya Cricket Association was very high. We got contracted by Kenya Breweries. So that was the main thing that just boosted us up to carry on. My first World Cup was 1999. Then the second one was 2003. And I was a medium pace bowler. So I was a bowler. And I did my part.
He was a regular for the national team back then, having established himself as a good fielder who picked up the skills at a tender age.
I was born in Park Road. Park Road is just, my door was just opposite Sally Sports Club. So I could actually, we started in as ball boys, going to Sally, sneaking through under the fence, and just acting as ball boys. Then we were getting the balls on the side and just trying. So they tapped our talent from there, and then we started jumping in, and that's how we started playing cricket. Park Road has the Tikolos, the Dumbes, the Sujis, Alfred Boy, the Ngoches. They've all been brought up in Park Road. Not only cricketers, but also footballers. Paulo Nyera came from Park Road. Sami Omolo came from Park Road. So those are all stars who came from Park Road. It's the interest you pick as you carry on. Because of us going to Sali, every day we come from school and go. So we just got interest of cricket. Then now became a good opportunity when we started playing. We were tapped in, and may Prem Koda's soul rest in peace. He paid my school fees from Form 2 to end. I did supplies manage to end of my studies.
It was at Swami Bapa where he built on his skills, surrounded by some of the best players the country has ever had.
I played for Swami Bapa. That was my first club because majority of us were playing there. We used to be picked by a pickup from Park Road, taken to Kilimani, come back. The interest going to Kilimani, every Thursday there was that bajia, so how kids are. So we won enough trophies at Swami Bapa. Swami Bapa is one of the biggest clubs, very biggest clubs that has won all the trophies. You can name them in the country, and produced majority of the national team players also, from Tom Tikolo, Steve Tikolo, name them, Maurice Ouma. All those are people who've captained this country. We won all the leagues, the six-a-side games. We used to go to Nakuru as a starting of the six-a-side. We won trophies there. We came NPCA League. It was definitely NPCA League. Yeah, we were playing on all those leagues.
And that's how they found their way to the national team to rise through the ranks.
Club cricket was very, very competitive. Very competitive. So we were picked from there. Squad of 30, you go for trials, then you make your river there. I was also part of top bowlers in the league. So now you picked up from there and you give an opportunity. My first tour to India was 1993 as under 23. So from there, that's when we came. That was the breakthrough for the national team. We performed very well. Yes, we didn't win enough games, but it was a very good experience for us. If you look at the squad that went to India in 1993, 2003, 10 of us were in the squad for the World Cup.
And he learned from the best to become one of the best bowlers in Kenya.
One, I was very fit. I was one of the fittest guys. I was one of the best fielders. And now just to come and mold it with my bowling just made me to stand out. I was very consistent. I enjoyed everything that I did. I kept all my heart there. I was dedicated. That was just pushing me along. The players that we had, a core of players that we had, Martin Suji, Maurice Odunge, Peter Ngondo, all those guys, Hitesh Modi, Ravindra Shah, Asif Karim, you call all those are legends that every time they come and just tapping your shoulder, telling carry on, move on, don't worry. Everyone, we were lifting each other, every one of us were lifting each other when someone is down.
He was an inspiration to many and needed to pass on his skills to others, so he came up with a developmental program that has nurtured many.
From a player, you finish, it motivates you, you ask yourself after your career, what can you do? And I thought Sandeep Patel and Balvinder Sandhu's thing really motivated me to be a coach. Every time they come in and say, Angara, do the warm-up, Angara, do this. So, I took it up and said, okay, I can. When I finished, I thought it was nice to just do the coaching. And also I started developing a program for NPCA early enough when I was still a player.
And that's how the Kenya cricketer transited to coaching, but not before he joined a Plascom Cricket Academy in South Africa.
This game you can't play forever. Age catches up, new players come in, so we got to let them come in. And then now, after that, I went to play club cricket in South Africa, in Cape Town, for a suburb called Guguletu. I came back and I got the coaching role started with under 17, under 19. So actually when I left to Botswana, I was the coach for under 19.
In 2015, Angara left for Botswana, having laid a foundation for the under 17s and under 19s, which has bore fruit up to date.
We always look for something new. We always look for something to challenge you. Yeah, we needed a challenge, like, okay, why can't I try go there? Also, that professional out of your comfort zone.
He has some memorable moments as the coach of the Botswana cricket team, which included a win over his former side.
It's been okay, 8 years working with us. It's actually a developing cricketing nation. So I went there and, 2015, July. So I'm back, and what I've done, I've decided I left the structures running there, and I hope Botswana will one day wake up and they've started competing. I'm sure you saw we came here a month ago, and you saw the performance.
Joseph Angara could not have done it all without his family's support, led by his beloved wife.
Definitely, my daughters are here. My wife is also working, really supported me throughout my 8 years in Botswana. Yes, they come visit on and off, but then it was not easy when you're staying away from your family, but sometimes you don't have a choice. You're a man, you have to go and fend out for bread.
He, however, decided home is best in 2023, where he looks forward to carry on with developing the game of cricket.
I'm looking for an opportunity that comes my way. I'm happy to work here for the Cricket Kenya when opportunity arises. I'm from national coach from Botswana. I'm working with the under-19s here, so you don't choose where to. When the opportunity comes, you still do what you need to do.
And the Kenya cricket fraternity was happy to see him back, giving him an opportunity to mentor the young ones, as we found him doing at the KBC Cricket Academy holiday camp.
This is the game that has brought me up. This is the game that I love. And I also want to thank KBC Sports Club for inviting me for this kind of session. I want to thank KBC Sports Club for such an initiative to bring these kids here, to help them play the game. It's not only good for KBC, but also good for this country.
And he does it all for the love of the sport of his choice.
I love this game, and I can't sit at home and there's a cricket going on somewhere. And like I said, I thank KBC for calling me this opportunity. This is what we need to do in this country, to see kids playing like they're on holiday now. Keep them busy, getting out from their phones, getting out from their TV, getting out from their also relaxing. Too much work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So this is part of it. I saw one of the boys here bowling called Fortune, and I say, wow, this is talent.
And know what? He did play.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Pindi tunapowasha vifaa vyetu, tunapata fursa ya kutangamana na wasikilizaji wetu.
Karibu sana thĩinĩ wa tabarĩra ya Rwiga.
Tunapeperusha utangazaji uliobobea katika habari,
nĩ ũndũ wa macio na mangĩ maingĩ,
burudani,
haha nĩ harĩa tũkoragwo tũkĩigua nyĩmbo mwaki nyĩmbo hoda
na hamasisho la kiroho. Usiachwe nyuma. Jiunge nasi kwa safari ya kufana katika 99.5 FM. Soro FM.
19 nations will compete in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania 2024, which will be staged from 2nd to 30th August 2025. Amongst the 4 groups in the tournament A to D, Kenya is pooled in Group A, together with Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, and Zambia.
Algeria from the set piece, the header is on target, but it's...
This unique competition featuring the best locally based players from across the continent definitely has something for everyone. Just bring your A game as you let it flow live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Well, and welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning, the 16th day of June, 2025. Lots happening, and the stories that we are going to be looking at. First of all, we're expecting that from the news front is that the interdicted officer commanding station Central Police, Samson Talam, is to be arraigned at the Milimani Court, and this is in regard to the death of Albert Ojwang, who was arrested in Homa Bay, and he was booked at the Central Police Station, and all the OB records as per the IPOA investigations at the point of his death indicated that the OCS was involved. And remember, also an update from the Independent Policing Oversight Authority that is to be given about, the 3 other persons who have been arrested as persons of interest in the case of the death of Albert Ojwang. So all that, and also any other pleas that have been made. We also know that Constable James Mukwana is making an application that he shouldn't be charged and should be released on board. Besides that, the hearing for his bail or bond decision is to be done on the 20th of June. That's one of the stories that we are looking at. And also, Chief Justice Emeritus David Maraga just spoke to the public, and at Vigilant House. So that's something that just we shall be keeping tabs on as far as this news cycle is concerned. And from the sports front, well, there has been a call for a memoranda and a notice for submissions with a view to review the policy and legal and institutional framework of sports in Kenya. Well, our reporter Fred Mwoki is at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, and this is being done through a multi-stakeholder task force that is currently engaged in a comprehensive review of this, and it's to make sure that the policies around sports are strengthened, the legal and institutional frameworks for development and promotion of sports in Kenya are improved, and also looking at appropriate amendments to various legal instruments and the preparation of a legal framework that spells out the mandate and functions of both levels of government. Because at the moment, sports is considered a devolved function, but when it comes to policy and the funding of national teams, that falls squarely through the national government through the Sports Arts and Social Development Fund. That's where funding comes for national teams who are presented by federations that have been duly registered by the sports registrar. So also we've got the commercialization of sports and the incentives around it. A big conversation also that's going to be here, even as the National Assembly goes in to take a look at the finance bill, because there is a whole change around this. So in line with that, all this is being done. And remember that it's happening now, and the Principal Secretary, Elijah Maina, is expected there. Frederick Mwoki is going to be joining us from that point. And let's now take a look at the prodigy volleyball setter, Frida Boke, who is whose story we are going to get. And after that, we shall join Lydia Caparo about the Nairobi T10 Women's Hardball Cricket League, and Fred Mwoki from the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani.
Hi Kenyans, I'm Frida Boke from Migori County. Yeah, mimi nilisoma Machakos Nimemaliza this year exams. Nimejiunga na timu ya KCB. Mi venye nilijiunga na timu ya Kwandanze. First nilifika huko kama sikuwa najua kucheza. Nikatrainiwa na coach Kigwari. Nikajua volleyball from form 1 up to form 4. Then tulikuwa na timu kali, tulikuwa tunapatana East Africa na nationals ambaye ni Kesogon. Yeah. Wote tulikuwa best, tulikuwa tulikuwa tunapelekeshana ile sana hard. Mimi nilikuwa kama assistant captain. Nilikuwa nawaambia tu tukue na moral na kila kitu inawezekana as long as tunaomba kila kitu iko best. Nikiwa shule, first of all nilikuwa weekends hiyo Saturday na tunamkia morning run Sunday, tulikuwa tunaenda training, then school day tulikuwa tunaenda class kama wanafunzi wengine, but games time tuko uwanja na hakuna kuharibu time ya coach. Coach ndivyo amesema, sasa tunafanya venye amesema. Masomo ilisha na kenye nilikuwa natarajia si yenye nilipata, but nilijaribu na nilishukuru Mungu na grade yenye nilipata. Before nimaliza exam yangu, nilimaliza nikakuja KCB, nilitrain as 1 week na wao. Then the other week, second week, tukaenda tournament. Nilicheza, I was the best setter. Na I wish, naomba Mungu sana niinuke, nikuwe level ingine different. Kwa maisha yangu mimi na hope nicheze outside, but kitu ya kwanza unaanzianga nyumbani ukisonga.
My name is Edith Wisa, the team captain for KCB Women Volleyball team. The young ones are gelling on well. KCB is a very good team, welcoming, so it's an easy thing for them to put up with the other players. And most of the players, they're their former schoolmates, so it's not a big deal for them to gel. So far, so good. They are doing well and they are in high spirits, ready to fight for their slots in the team.
Kwa Wakenya, Kenya naweza waambia mniombe sana, tuombeane, kila kitu itakuwa best.
Asante, kila la heri.
Thank you.
And that's the story of one of our young volleyball aces and Frida Boke. Well, now time to talk about cricket. And over the weekend, we had the Women's Cricket League starting in Nairobi, and it is the Nairobi Provincial Cricket Association T20 Women's League. And joining us via Zoom in Nairobi is a person who can wear many hats, actually juggles very many hats. She's been a player in tennis, we've seen her play cricket, now umpiring cricket, and at the moment she's a coordinator for the NPCA T20, or rather the T10 League, 10 overs aside that involves 6 sides, started over the weekend. Lydia, very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Daniel. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Well, thank you for joining us. Even as you go through your day job, let's just start with the thoughts of bringing together these franchises together to play in the NPCA T20 Hardball League, which was being played at the Eastleigh High School and the Ruaraka Sports Club. Just the background of bringing this.
Sorry, Daniel, I lost you there. So this is going to be the first edition, and we did suggest that we could start with the T10, which is the first league that as NPCA is going to run. And I am glad to be coordinating that. And I am really happy to have all these ladies coming together to play for the first time in the NPCA league. And I'm sure it's going to be a very smooth league. And we are hoping to see some good cricket being played all around.
All right, so looking at the way the teams were selected, 6 franchises, what is the balance that you were looking for, knowing that this brings together a minimum of 72 to 8, a minimum of 75 players playing for different teams?
Yes, so we put up 7 teams of 15 players each. And what we've looked into is have the national team players spread out in all these teams, and also the under-19s who went for their qualifiers, because they're going to bring in experience and be able to teach, or rather, these other new players who are coming in would be able to learn from these national team players and gain the experience they deserve, because also we have youngsters who've started playing the hardball, and it's good to see them, because now when we have a range of players coming in to start playing in the junior team, building up to the under 15, it's going to be very easy to get players joining in under 19, and this means we have a lot of players to choose from when we want to select the national team. So it's a good thing. And I am really proud of all these players, and I'm proud to see some cricket being played all around. And we are hoping to see what this has in store for us.
Well, let's talk about, actually the selection of the format. T10, which is 10 overs a side, which means that you can have 2 matches played over a weekend. Why not the more conventional T20, 20 overs a side that we would see, that we have seen now being played even at international level?
Because this is the first time we're doing it, our aim is to have these ladies play as many games as possible. We do know for sure that in the next season that we're coming through, we're going to play. But it's because we want to start the hardball league and see how it runs. And then from there, we're going to pick it up next season. And because the ladies will be going out to play the T20 qualifiers in September, I believe in Namibia. We wanted them to play different, like if you're batting, you're able to face different styles of bowling. So the more matches you play, the better chance of you meeting different bowlers for as many times as possible.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, you mentioned about that, and knowing that the shorter format of the game, they have quite explosive, high scoring, and how you react to that. What's the work being done first, to make sure that you've got those who can bat doing very well? I think I'm looking at one team known as Ndovu Power. That's where we've got Quinta Abel, who's captaining the side. We've seen her play, push that team very well. We've seen Mary, who's captain the national side, also being included in another of the franchises. How can you get these players now to, get adapted to aggressive batting before we even talk about how, the bowlers work around this? Looks like we've slightly lost Lydia Caparo from our Zoom link. She's in Nairobi, and she's taking us through the Nairobi T10 Women's League that is organized by the Nairobi Provincial Cricket Association. Teams that are participating in this event, you've got Chui Champs, Twiga Warriors, Farasi Force, Simba Titans, Kifaru Chargers, and Duma Strikers. So those are the teams that are taking place. The first matches were played over the weekend. Chui Champs against the Twiga Warriors and Farasi Force against the Simba Titans. And then at the Ruaraka Sports Club, we had the Kifaru Chargers playing against the Duma Strikers and Ndovu playing against Duma. 7 teams overall, all looking at that, and that's where they are. So if we've got Lydia back, Brian. So looks like we have lost Lydia, who was on Zoom telling us about the inaugural T10 Women's League, and it's meant to help the Kenyan women cricketers get their groove into the game and at the same time also prepare for the T20 African Championships and World Cup qualifiers that will be taking place in Namibia in the month of September. So this is all about development, bringing the youngsters. We've got those players who are from the under-19 setup who have all graduated. So we have got Lydia back. And Lydia, sorry for that break, but let's come back to you. And the question that I wanted to ask is, how do you help, our batters adapt to the explosive nature of T10 and T20 cricket through these tournaments?
Wahome, most of these players, by the time I was leaving, some of them were coming up, and I, being a manager, I've watched all these girls play, and also being part of the selection committee, I've watched them play throughout the NPCA League as a Kenya team, at the Kenya ladies team. So I have seen what the batters can do. I've seen what the bowlers have been able to do internationally and locally. So the idea of mixing them up and coming up with this T10 is to see these batters, if they have 10 overs left, for instance, in a T20 game, how well can they accelerate? If, for instance, a 70 runs is needed in T10, how well can they bat? If they're given a target, will they be able to manage, or is it going to be too difficult for them? So this 10 overs also sets up the pace in terms of batting. You have to accelerate as fast as possible, because also the T20, you have 11 players on the field and 10 can bat. So if you, for instance, an opposition side has got something like 150, and you pick your 10 or your 5 top batters, and you expect them to give you around maybe 90 runs. So their target would be to get as many boundaries as possible. So they are in a position to start accelerating from the over number 1. So this T10 is good. I think it's a good preparation for them as they set to go for the T20 qualifiers, because now, then again, they know, if I am needed to hit the balls within these few overs, will I be able to do it? And if you have the bowlers who also have a target of, for instance, getting maybe five batters out, how well do they plan their fielding positions? And for instance, if they require, maybe a bowler requires to get maybe 3 or 2 wickets in their 3 overs, will they be able to manage? So I think it's a good start for them, because this is you have less overs to play, and it's a challenge, which I think it's a good start for them to just they can articulate whatever they need to do within those few overs.
Well, let me just talk about the weekend and what you observed and things that you'd like to be given back to the ladies who are playing this cricket from the 6 matches played from the 4 matches played over the weekend, where Chui played against Twiga, Farasi against Simba, and then you had Kifaru against Duma and Ndovu playing against Duma.
Yeah, that was also an interesting final. The under 40 was there doing the commentary, and yes, the Kifaru Chargers. It was an interesting game. Chasing the Consol Base only required 111 runs to win in that final. So they have their top 5, which actually they lost their top 3 batters very early, 8 runs and 3 wickets. We thought the game was going to change, but all they needed to do is just get singles. And we saw that in that final, having lost 5 wickets, their 5 batters the Consol-based batters needed to take charge and ensure that they don't lose those wickets, because the board had very few runs, and that means they just needed to take those singles and doubles. They didn't have to go for big shots. But anyway, if you get a full toss, if you get a bad ball, yes, you will hit. But yes, they did it. Having lost very early wickets, they were able to come through and just finish that game comfortably. So watching that and looking back at the games that I watched over the weekend for the girls, I saw the likes of Veronica Obuga, who made her 50, and she did hit that quick 50, and also Ruth Ambio chipped in with her 30s, Mary Wamboi with her 40s. So it's good to see these national team players taking charge, and the rest of the upcoming players are able to learn from them, which is a very good thing to see.
All right. Closing word from you. A call to those who would like to take up the sport, and the efforts being put to ensure that Kenya becomes a dominant force in women's cricket, not starting with Africa.
I mean, sports is a very interesting and good career. I personally didn't know I would be able to wear so many caps. I've been all over in a couple of sports, but yes, cricket is a lovely sport. It was my last sport to learn, and it became my favorite sport. And I have seen the world. I've traveled. I've been able to meet so many people all over the world. I've been able to play in different grounds all over the world, which is a very good thing for me. And now taking up umpiring a role, which not so many would be courageous enough to take. I think it's a sport which can take you places, and indeed it can build a proper career for you. So I would encourage anybody who has the interest to take it up to do so. It's an interesting game, and you will continue loving it as much as you play. You will fall in love with it every day, and it can change lives. I have seen it change people's lives, and yes, indeed, it can change a lot of lives.
Thank you very much, Lydia Kaparo, who is the coordinator of the NPCA Women's T10 Hardball League. This is a cricket tournament played over 10 overs over the weekends and involves at least 75 of the upcoming and also the senior women's players. Thank you very much, Lydia, for your time this morning. Have a good day, and we'll definitely be coming over to watch those matches. Well, let's continue with our conversation this morning. We expect to be somewhere at, with the national beach volleyball teams. But right now, Fred Mwoki is at the Mo International Sports Center, Kasarani. And this is a place where there is a call for memoranda and also for the notice of comments and views on the review of the policy, legal and institutional framework of sports in Kenya. Fred, over to you. Just take us through this, and you could give us, views from the stakeholders on what they would like to see done to strengthen Kenya's sport legal and policy framework.
A very good morning to you and welcome to this live broadcast. I'm coming to you live from Kasarani Stadium, and it's a beehive of activities today because the sports stakeholders and players from the sports sector drawn from different federations are converging today in a public participation forum that is organized by the State Department of Sports to discuss about the reforms of the sports policies and the sports framework in Kenya. And I'll be joined by Moses Mbudia, who is also the chairman for the Kenya Beach Volleyball Commission, as the Kenyan team that will be taking part in the African Championship in Morocco, starting 23rd of this month as intensified training at the Strathmore University grounds. And I'll be joined by Moses Mbudia, maybe to shed more light on his presence here today. He's going to tell us about this public participation about the sports framework in Kenya. Maybe welcome to this live broadcast, Bwana Moses.
Thank you. About the public participation, we have quite a number of stakeholders. We've been able to marshal teachers in Nairobi, and so they are here, ready for work. And being the secretary of Nairobi Secondary School Sports Association, I've been able to marshal about 18 of them, and they're here. But that's aside, because we have the real stakeholders who will be talking about it inside. I would rather zero in on what is ahead of us in Tetuan in Morocco. Yes.
And maybe we understand that you have been in volleyball for quite a good time now. Maybe what are some of the reforms that you'd like to see being introduced in the sports framework, maybe?
The main issue from my end is that we should not have an individual kind of a setup aimed at benefiting an individual. We should look at the athletes of this country, because the flamers of these 2013, 2010 Sports Act, I think there was a bit of individualism that was set there to benefit certain individuals. Would rather have an institution, not an individual. But those are some of the details that I'll give in there. I do not want to preempt some of the issues that I need to talk about in this hall here. So those are some of the issues that to me are very pertinent. And it's about sports, not about individuals. Yes.
And you understand that the budget was just presented by the CS for Treasury. And we saw that sports was allocated approximately 16.6 billion shillings, maybe. What's your general comment about it?
Not enough. There is not enough. And I think the high time now, we have real stakeholders in various departments who understand the chemistry of sports. Because you, for example, take one federation like cycling. The cost of buying a bicycle, or call it a sport bike, it's damn expensive. When you look at more than 100 federations that are there, their demands are too high. We are not expanding our facilities. We are not, in a nutshell, we are saying that money, Nikidogo. But even if it is not enough, we should use it wisely for the next 1 year. Yes.
Maybe let's go back now to beach volleyball. Yes. We understand that the national team is at HIT training, it's as intensified training is preparing for the upcoming tournament. Maybe you can tell us more about that.
It's unfortunate that we should have done it on the ground where they are training, but I know you are a very mobile person. You'll go there and find out. We have already the team in the camp, and the camp is with the coach Patrick Owino, a seasoned coach who was able to bring in a silver medal, a seasoned coach who has been able even to take position 3 in the country in the convection of volleyball. That is Patrick Owino, together with Madam Sari. They are equal to the task. But now coming to the real stakeholders, and these are the athletes. We have some of the professional volleyballers in there. Some of them are Veronica, you know her, Veronica, and she plays in Uturuki, and she is equal to the task, including others that are there who played very well during all African Games. And mine is that the selection, which has not been done finally, will come up with a team that will not only represent Kenya, but also be able to turn tables in that town I'm calling Tetuan, which has a very nice beach, a half bit away from Spain. And in this case, we expect them to have the geographical tour after winning, of course. And other than that, the team is supposed to leave on 21st. And they will definitely first land in Casablanca. From Casablanca, they go to Tangier. From Tangier, they take another flight to Tetuan. It's a long journey, and that should give them about 24 hours acclimatization before the action on 23rd. They have done it in the past. Why not this time? Yes.
And you're saying it's a provisional squad. Maybe when should we expect the team that will be the final squad that will represent the country maybe to be announced?
We have a division of labor, and that question will be well answered by none other than Patrick Owino and Madam Sari, who are on the ground. If I interfere with the final squad as the chairman of the Beach Volleyball Commission, I'll be failing in my duty, because once we give responsibility, they say responsibility maketh the man. And I expect Sari and Owino to give us the final squad. The test maybe by tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, because we are now talking of hours. We're talking of 72 or 100 hours before takeoff.
And maybe we understand it's beach volleyball. Maybe someone would like to know why they're not training maybe at the coastal towns of Kenya, maybe?
There was a short notice. Don't forget that we just concluded our league a week ago, and some of these players were also inside there. And it became a bit tough for us to quickly turn and go to Mombasa. We have already done it. And I think also our coffers are empty now. We couldn't afford to do that quick business under the government, their procedures. So we could not just tell the government that we want to go to Mombasa, yet we cannot be able to take the first initiative of taking the team there. So we agreed that let's do it at Strathmore. It's up to the athletes and the coaches to give us their best. Yes.
I mean, when was the last outing? Maybe you can tell us about how the team has been performing in major international championships. And is this going to be the first time maybe featuring in the qualifiers for World Championship?
It's exactly 1 year. We were there on 23rd of June last year, when we were looking at the All African Games qualifier. We didn't do very well. The other year we did it very well in a town called Al Gadil in the same country. And other than that, we have also had other international tours, even in Kenya here, in Twiga Beach, that is in South Coast, in Kwale, not Mombasa. And the teams did very well. We came up with a very good team, and they earned the points. Remember, beach volleyball, you have 2 earned points. That's why we refer to it as homologated tour. And homologated tour, in this case, we have had a number of them, and we shall expect to have a number of them, not forgetting that for the first time now we shall have the beach volleyball played in secondary school. It was this forum, I should take an opportunity to say that in Kakamega, we shall have the beach volleyball played as a demonstration game in Mombasa. And I want to thank Mr. Mugisha from Uganda, the chairman, David Gugi, the secretary, and our director, Mr. Nelson Sifuna, who made it possible for us. We are still on the pilot project, and as a commission, we are very ready to support that. There are quite a number of organizations that want to come in and see to it that it is done very well, like the case of Deep Heat and Deep Freeze. I want to thank Mr. Macharia here and his team, because they have always been there. Thank you for us.
Maybe I'd like to know whether, are there any plans of maybe initiating a national league for both men and women? Maybe are there plans? Or,
we do have the National League. We refer to it as beach tour, homologated tour. And as we are talking, we have already done one. We expect to do another one in Mombasa, in Big Tree, of course sponsored by Deep Heat. And we still intend to do one more at Strathmore. So we have the league, as you're calling it, but it is called a homologated tour. That's the word in beach volleyball.
Maybe what strategies are you going to employ as the chairman of the commission, maybe to, the sport to grow in Kenya?
From 2017, when I took over as the chair, there have been strides that have been made. We have managed to get the silver medal for the first time in all African Games. We've managed to take the team to Olympics for the first time. The team has made it to the World Championship. That was in Italy. And our girls did very well. Kaudentia Makoha and Brakti Zagara, they did very well in Rome. And this tells you that we have a team of very able beach volleyball commission. And I want to thank them all, Aisha, Rudrop, Ibrahim Oduri, Patrick Owino, to mention but a few. These are some of the very able people who are the main piston of the engine. The oiling is done by the government and the federation. Thank you. Yes.
And we understand that you have said that the team will be traveling on 21st of this month.
Yes.
Maybe you can confirm to us whether everything is well.
Well, it is not over until it's over. We are still pursuing the Ministry of Sports. Of course, there are so many people who are lining up in ministry. My guess is as good as yours, that the ministry will see to it that this team gets what it is required for them to fly. And of course, we have a very able minister and the PS who normally study, they have their own intelligence on the ground. Is this tour a real tour? Is it a holiday making? So they are equal to the task, and I'm hoping that by the end of the day, we shall have a good answer. Yes.
And someone would like to know, because we understand, Kenya is an athletic nation, and the government has been accelerating efforts to promote sports tourism. Maybe are there plans of you as the commission maybe bidding to host some of,
I was called by the president of CAVB the other day, and he challenged me, or challenged us. How comes Kenya, you have very nice beaches, you have very good athletes, and you're not bidding to host? That question, I'll answer it, God willing, if I will accompany the team to Tetuan when we have one-on-one meeting, because I'm also a member of the CAVB Beach Volleyball Commission. So we shall sit there as a unit and bid, and also if we get a good positive results from both the national executive members and the government, why not? We should host. Yes, we have beaches, and you know it, white ones for that matter.
Your expectations and maybe a word, your message to the players will be representing Kenya?
Well, mine is, can we go back to the main track and take our position, number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2, not number 6, like we did it last time. Now, let's take our position, and my girls and boys will hear this. Mashabik tunawaambia, we shall do it. This time round, business, no nonsense, business, and results. Yes.
These are the words of the chairman of the Commission of the Kenya Beach Volleyball in Kenya. We understand that the Kenyan team that will be representing the country in the upcoming qualifiers for World Championship is currently training at the Strathmore University grounds. But what is happening here today is that sports stakeholders, they are attending to a forum that is organized by the State Department of Sports to revise and review, maybe to share their comments about the sports policies and the policy framework for the sports. But we will keep you posted about what will be happening later in our subsequent bulletins. But to remind you that the national team that will be taking part in the Beach Volleyball World Championship qualifiers is currently training at the Strathmore University grounds. We'll keep you posted about what will be happening later in our subsequent bulletins. Thank you so much, Daniel Wahome. Back to you in studio.
Well, Frederick Moki, thank you very much, giving us a link from the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. And this is where stakeholders in sports are making presentations, and this is a call for memoranda, comments and views on the policy, legal and institutional framework of sports in Kenya, because they have been called as global sporting laws change and global sporting environment changes. What is it that needs to be done to strengthen governance, make sure that sports can be easily commercialized, and what kind of incentives can the sports fraternity come together and ask for? So he's going to be giving us that story, and the principal secretary in the State Department for Sport, Elijah Maina, is expected to be there and address the sports stakeholders who have gathered there. And remember, they've got all of this information to do it by the 20th of June. That is 4 days from now. That is by the end of the week. So all those comments and individuals are going to be happening there. So let's get to hear from Frederick Moki in our subsequent report. Well, we've got just about another 4 minutes or so of this program remaining. And what we're going to do, we're going to tell you the story of one of Kenya's best steeple chasers. Do you know him because of the medals and everything? No, you know him because of what he did in the tours. So as we wind up, we'll get the story of Paul Kipsiele Koech. My name is Daniel Wahome. Our sign language interpreter, these are bottom right of your screen, has been Lucy Mwaura. Have a good day. And after the Paul Kipsiele Koech story, we're going to have Kurunzi Mashinani and Tambrini, and also an update from the Milimani court, where we've seen that the interdicted officer commanding station, Central Police Station, Samson Talab, has been presented at the courts.
For the final of the steeplechase, 15 competitors will be running in this event, and out of them we have 4 Africans. We just saw the world and Olympic record a while ago, and the runners are Luis Miguel Martin from Spain, Musa Obaid Amar from Qatar. From the Netherlands, we have Simon Veromin. From France, Mubdadla Tahir. From Morocco, we have Ali Ezaini, one of Africa's flag bearers. Eliso Martin from Spain. Another African flag bearer from Kenya is Ezekiel Kemboy. From Spain is David Antonio Jimenez. Another Kenyan is Kipsele Paul Coach.
That means an unbeaten run stretching back to 84, boycott in 80. This was the start of the race. The Kenyans working together as a team.
Achievement yenye nimeachieve, the main bronze Olympic in 2004 Athens, tukiwa na Ezekiel Kemboy na Bremin Kipruto. Na nimeanza tena kukimbia muda zaidi yenye ilikuwa namba 4 bora duniani. Na nimeweza tena kukimbia Diamond League mara 3 nikishinda hiyo. Kwa jumla mimi nilikimbia kutoka 2001 mpaka 2022, karibu miaka 22 yenye niliweza kukimbia zaidi.
Born in November 10th, 1981 in Sotik, Paul Kipsele Koech is among the finest 3,000-meter steeplechase athletes Kenya has ever produced.
This stage, the pack still together, but a relentless pace from Koech in front, from Kipruto, then Kemboy.
Later in July 2001, he competed in his first 3,000-meter steeplechase race at the Vasteras Games Folksam GP, still in Sweden, where he clocked 7 minutes, 53.52 seconds to finish 4th, and later attempted his first 1,500 meters race in August 2001 in Leverkusen Bayer Meeting, Germany, finishing 6th in 3 minutes, 38.87 seconds. His first breakthrough 3,000 meters race was on 31st August 2001 at the Berlin ISAF, in which he claimed the 6th position, clocking 3 minutes, 15.92 seconds.
Yenye tunaweza sema ni kuwa discipline kwa ile kitu yenye fanya kwa mbio yako. Alafu unaona sasa hivi vijana wanakimbilia sana road race yenye ambayo haistahili mtu mwenye hajafika ile umri kama 25, 28 ya kuweza kukimbia road races, sababu ukikimbia road race ukiwa mjanga sisi inaanza kuisha. So naimisa vijana wasione sana pesa iko mingi kwa marathon ama road race. At least wafanye kwanza wamalize track and then graduate aende marathon.
Kipsele still remains the best Diamond League in 3,000 meter steeplechase specialist athlete in Kenya to date, winning a record of 16 races, his first breakthrough win being in 2004 at the Roma Golden Gala, posting 7 minutes, 59.65 seconds, and his last win being in 2015 at the Weltklasse meet in Zurich, Switzerland. In 2004, Kipsele announced himself as a man to beat in 3,000 meters steeplechase when he won a bronze medal at the Olympic Games in Athens, Greece, and improved it after finishing second at the All-African Games in Abuja, Nigeria.
Mpaka leo sioni kuna kitu niliwacha, sababu mimi nilienda championships mingi nikapata medali kama hiyo Athens, nikaenda Mauritius nikapata medali, alafu nikakimbia tena muda bora, nikakimbia Diamond League nikashinda mara 3. Wakati wetu wa mbio za IAAF tena niliweza kushinda mara 7. So sioni kusema kuna kitu niliwacha, hasa tu na kwangu naimisa vijana wakuja ukimbie kama sisi, na bado tuko kwa kubea mawaida.
Kipsele Koech could dominate all Golden Gala World Athletics Finals and Diamond Leagues, but found it hard in Major World Championships, finishing 7th overall in his first assignment at the Helsinki Championships in 2005, before finishing 4th at the Berlin World Athletics Championships in 2009.
Championship inakuwa changamoto sana sababu inafaa utumie mbinu zaidi na hasa steeplages haikuwa rahisi siku hiyo, lakini tukienda Diamond League huwa nilikuwa na perform mzuri sana.
Since hanging up his spikes from the track in 2015, Kipsiele has tried road running before venturing into coaching young athletes in his camp in Sotik, besides focusing on dairy farming.
Sasa mimi niko na dairy ng'ombe ya maziwa na nimeweza ku add value kwa hiyo maziwa. Sasa niko na kampuni yangu yenye natoa maziwa ya Mursik, Kaso Mursik traditional milk. Yeah.
So ndio unafanya?
Hii ndio nafanya saa hii.
Pengine kama ng'ombe wangapi?
Ng'ombe niko na zaidi ya 50.
Wapi?
Sotik, Bomet County.
So which means bado pia umecreate employment kwa watu ambao wanakusaidia hapo.
Ya kama ile kampuni yangu ya kutengeneza mala Kaso Mursik, niko na vijana wenye nimewaajiri na coach vijana, nafunza vijana huko nyumbani, kwa niko na kambi huko nyumbani, so na train vijana. Na sai kazi yangu nimeenda kwa ukulima nafanya sai, lakini kwa mbio bado tunakuja kuhimiza wanariadha wachanga wakuje wakimbie kama sisi. Niko na vijana wenye wanakimbia mbio yote kutoka steeplechase mpaka marathon wenye wanakimbia.
Kipsiele believes Kenya can regain its steeplechase dominance in both the Olympics and World Championships with proper structures in place from the federation to identify and nurture talents.
Naona future iko sababu kuna vijana wenye wanakuja wanaweza rudisha hiyo ile enzi kama ile enzi zetu, ila tu wapate ile tactics ya kukimbia hiyo steeplechase. Ni vile sasa vile training naenda ile wakati zetu vile tulikuwa na train sio kama sai, so inabidi wakuwe na hiyo nini ya sai vile wana train vile kama sai. Vijana tulikuwa naona hawafanyi gym, so sai gym ndio inawezesha at least mtu anaweza kimbia, so afanye ile training ya kisasa.
However, he calls on athletes to balance prominence, money and professional running in order to stay longer in their running careers.
Tofauti sana ni haina tofauti sana, but ukiona concentration yenye inafaa uweke huko, sio vile una big race sabari ya kwanza unaenda kuna pacemakers wana set, na kwa championship tunaonanga wenye wanaenda, unaweza stukia hata mtu mwenye hakuwa mzuri kwa Diamond anaenda kukushinda. Sasa hii niko na kijana yangu mwenye najaribu kufunza so yeye kwa shule na anakimbia.
Yes,
anakimbia bado sijafunza ya kimbia steeplechase, lakini nataka akimbie steeplechase.
Anaitwa nani?
Anaitwa Moses Kipto.
Kipsiele could not leave before cautioning young athletes against engaging in doping, which has ruined many upcoming talents.
Wakuwe na nidhamu kwa ile chenye wanafanya, na wakuwe na patience kwa ile mazoezi yenye anafanya, wasienda haraka sababu kuna hizi madawa yenye imekuja saa hii, mtu anakuja anataka apate pesa kwa haraka, anaenda kula madawa.